Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Storyteller. Today, I have a wonderful story for you. It's not just for improving your listening skills, but also to motivate you. This story shows how determination and effort can change lives. Listen carefully until the end, and I hope you will learn something new from this story. So let's get started. Nothing comes easy. Leo was a young man, just 20 years old, living in a peaceful town surrounded by mountains. He had big dreams. He wanted to run a chain of bakeries and become a successful entrepreneur. But his journey wasn't easy. His family faced financial struggles. His father, Mark, was a mechanic, and his mother, Claire, worked as a house cleaner. His younger sister, Sophie, was 10 years old and admired him greatly. One cold evening, Leo sat outside staring at the sky. He whispered, "I want to give my family a better life, but how can I start when we barely have enough?" The next morning, he spoke to his father about his dream. Mark sighed and said, "Leo, success isn't free. If you want something, you must work for it. Start small, but start now." Leo thought about his father's words. Then an idea struck him. He noticed that people in town loved fresh bread, but had to travel far to buy it. He decided to sell fresh bread locally. There was a problem. Leo had no money to buy the bread. He decided to take a chance and approached a bakery owner, Mr. Anderson. Leo walked miles to meet Mr. Anderson, a serious old man who rarely trusted others. With confidence, Leo said, "Sir, I want to sell your bread in my town, but I don't have the money to buy it up front. Can you trust me for 1 week? I'll sell the bread, return your money, and keep a small profit." Mr. Anderson raised an eyebrow. "And why should I trust you?" Leo replied firmly, "Because I am determined and will work hard to prove myself." After a long pause, Mr. Anderson said, "All right, you have 1 week. If you fail, don't come back." Leo was thrilled. Early the next morning, he carried the bread back to town and set up a small stand near the park. He greeted everyone warmly, saying, "Fresh bread, warm and delicious." At first, people hesitated, but after tasting free samples, they started buying. By evening, he had sold everything and made a small profit. That night, he returned to Mr. Anderson and paid him back. The old man nodded. "Come back tomorrow," he said. Leo worked hard every day. He woke up at 4 a.m., walked to the bakery, carried bread, and sold it with energy. After 2 months, he saved enough to buy a small cart, making it easier to transport more bread. One day, a customer suggested, "Leo, why don't you bake your own bread? You're great at selling, but if you bake, you'll earn more." The idea excited but also scared Leo. He had never baked before. At that moment, he realized nothing comes easy. Not success, not knowledge, not growth. But there was a problem. He didn't know how to bake. Leo decided to ask Mr. Anderson for help. The next morning, after paying for the bread, he said, "Sir, can you teach me how to bake?" Mr. Anderson frowned. "If I teach you, you'll stop buying from me. That's bad for my business." Leo replied, "You're right, but I'll never forget the man who gave me a chance. If I succeed, I'll make sure to help your bakery too." The old man thought for a moment and said, "Fine, but baking is tough. It takes patience and effort. If you're ready, I'll teach you." The lessons began at 3 a.m. Leo learned how to mix flour, knead dough, and bake perfectly. At first he struggled, his hands hurt, and the bread came out wrong. One day after ruining another batch, he felt defeated. "Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should quit," he thought. But then he remembered his father's words. Success isn't free. Giving up was not an option. The next day, Leo returned with more determination. He practiced every step carefully, and slowly his bread improved. After 2 weeks, Mr. Anderson handed him a loaf and said, "This is perfect, Leo. You're ready." Leo was overjoyed. He rented a small oven and started baking at home. His family supported him. His sister, Sophie, helped pack the bread, and his mother made tea while he worked late. Soon he wasn't just selling bread. He started making cookies and pastries too. People in town loved his products. "Leo's bread is better than anything we've had before," they said. But success wasn't easy. One day, a new bakery opened in town, run by a young man named Eric. His shop was big and beautifully decorated. Curious customers started buying from him instead. Leo noticed his sales dropping. He felt nervous. What if I lose everything? Instead of panicking, Leo asked customers, "What do you like about Eric's bakery? What can I improve?" Some said, "His shop looks clean and modern." Others said, "His cakes are beautifully designed." Leo realized he needed to grow, not just as a baker, but as a businessman. Using his savings, he painted his cart, added bright decorations, and started offering free samples. He also learned cake decorating from library books. Slowly, customers returned. One evening, an elderly woman told Leo, "Many people give up when things get tough, but you didn't. That's why we trust you." Her words filled Leo with pride. Months passed and Leo's business grew. He saved enough money to rent a small shop. It wasn't as fancy as Eric's, but it was warm and inviting. He named it Leo's Fresh Bakes. Every morning he woke up early, baked fresh bread, and greeted customers with a smile. His family helped him. Sophie loved talking to customers and Claire managed the accounts. But Leo knew this was just the beginning. He wanted to grow, make his family proud, and prove that with hard work, anything is possible. Leo's Fresh Bakes became the heart of the town. People loved his fresh bread, and his dream was only just beginning. And that's the end of today's story. Hope you enjoyed the story and learned something new. If it helped, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next story. Thanks for watching.